Norris just dropped a bombshell. He wants to face Hamilton more often, wheel-to-wheel, straight-up racing. And this isn't just praise, guys. This might be the most direct message a new-gen driver has ever sent to the greatest champion alive in the sport. Because when you handpick who you want to take down, you're saying, I know who matters. You're saying, I know who still commands respect in here. And I want that name on my battle resume. Now pause and think with me. If you're Lando Norris, with everything you've built over the last few years, with McLaren finally delivering a competitive car, with podiums becoming routine and pole positions no longer being an accident, why do you go into an interview and specifically drop Lewis Hamilton's name? Not Max, who's the current champ and the guy you need to beat for the title. Not Leclerc, who's from your generation and has already traded paint with you. Hamilton, the 7-time champ, the guy heading to Ferrari now, starting a new cycle, but carrying an aura that no other driver has. Hit that like button right now because this story is going to show you exactly what's going on inside Norris's head. And make sure you subscribe, because this rivalry could pop off at any moment this season and you don't want to miss a single chapter. Norris's statement didn't come out of nowhere. It was calculated right after a race where he and Hamilton had minimal contact, but where it was clear they were reading the race the exact same way. Same pit window, same tire choice, same aggression defending their spots. When they asked him which drivers he loves battling up close, Norris didn't hesitate. Hamilton, always clean, always on the limit, but always fair. And then came the part nobody expected. I wish I had more of those battles with him. Because when you race Lewis, you know if you won, you really won. This isn't fan admiration. This is strategic recognition. Norris is saying Hamilton is still the benchmark, that beating Verstappen in the championship is mandatory if you have the car. But beating Hamilton wheel-to-wheel, with both on the absolute limit, that builds a legacy. And Lando is at a moment in his career where he doesn't just want race wins. He wants to be respected by the guys who defined the last decade of F1. He wants people 10 years from now to say, that guy went toe-to-toe with the best and didn't blink. But there's a detail a lot of people miss. Hamilton is a driver who pulls the best out of his opponents when they can handle it. It's no accident that his best races were against Rosberg, against Vettel in his prime, against Verstappen in 2021. The guy doesn't settle for easy wins when there's someone on the other side applying real pressure. And Norris knows this. He saw how Hamilton treated the battles with Leclerc in 2019. He saw how he respected Verstappen even through the most controversial crashes. And now he wants on that list. Not as a sidekick, but as the protagonist of a duel the crowd will remember. The big question is, what makes a real duel happen? Because it's not enough for both to just be on track at the same time. You need cars on the same pace, and that's starting to happen. McLaren is fast. Ferrari is fast. Not every weekend, but when the two cars are close, the difference is milliseconds. You need a strategy that puts both in the same racing window, and the teams have already realized this. When Norris and Hamilton are on the same strategy, TV knows there's content there. You need the guts not to yield on the first move, and both have proven they don't yield. Some people are saying Norris is being naive, that by poking Hamilton, he's waking up a sleeping lion. But flip the script. If you want to assert yourself as an elite driver, you can't be scared of a reputation. You have to go to the most dangerous guy and say, I can handle it. And Norris is doing this intelligently. He's not provoking. He's inviting. He's saying, give me this opportunity. Put me in this fight because I want to show what I can do. Hamilton, on the other hand, isn't dumb. He got the message, and his response was surgical. In a press conference 2 days later, he said Norris is mature now, and that he finally has a car to show what he was always capable of. Translation: welcome to the group that matters. But don't think it's gonna be easy. Because Hamilton knows that public praise turns into private pressure. Every time the two meet on track now, the crowd is gonna expect fire. And if Norris slips up, if he lets Hamilton pass easily in a key battle, the narrative changes. Then he's not the young talent anymore. He's the guy who talked too much. This kind of statement has weight, because F1 is as much about performance as it is about presence. You can be fast, but if you don't have presence, you just become a number. Norris is building presence. He is choosing his battles. And he chose to start with the hardest one. That shows he understands how the game works. It's no use beating the guys everyone beats. You need to beat the guy nobody wants to face. Another point nobody is talking about. This puts pressure on McLaren and Ferrari. Because now the engineers know that every time these two are close, all eyes will be glued on them. And if the car fails, if the strategy misses, it's not just losing a position. It's losing the duel. It's giving ammo to the other side. The teams now have a subplot in the season they didn't ask for, but they'll have to manage. And this can define races. Because when you know your driver wants to measure strength with someone specific, you adjust the strategy. You take more risks. You fight for positions you'd normally let go. And there's the audience factor. We get tired of seeing DRS overtakes on the straights. We get tired of seeing pole positions turning into emotionless wins. But when two real drivers, with mutual respect and equal ambition, meet in a tight chicane, everyone stops to watch. And Norris knows this. He knows that if these clashes with Hamilton become frequent, he becomes the headline. He becomes the trend. He becomes the guy the casual F1 fan will start following. Hamilton wins too, because he's at Ferrari, starting a new chapter, and needs to prove he's still relevant. That it wasn't just the Mercedes car. That he can still squeeze blood from a stone and fight with guys in their prime. If Norris wants this duel, Hamilton will deliver. Because he knows beating a prime Norris is worth more for his legacy than beating a driver at the end of their career. The timing of all this is perfect. We're in a moment where the F1 order is reorganizing. Red Bull isn't invincible anymore. Mercedes is trying to come back. Ferrari has a new driver who is a living legend. McLaren has two fast drivers and a car that's finally competitive. And in the middle of all this, you have Norris openly saying he wants Hamilton as his elite sparring partner. This isn't naivety. This is a declaration of intent. But let's be honest, there's risk. Because if Norris enters this dispute and gets smoked, if Hamilton shows he still has 3 extra gears when pushed, the narrative turns against Lando. It becomes tried to poke and got burned. It becomes a joke on social media. It becomes internal pressure at McLaren. But Norris knows this risk, and he's accepting it. Because he knows that to be on the level he wants, you can't be afraid of looking foolish. You gotta risk it. You gotta speak up. You gotta show you want the challenge, even knowing it might not go well. And that changes everything. Because until last year, Norris was the nice guy pilot. The guy with the live streams, the easy humor, the obvious talent but lacking that thick skin. Now he's showing another side. He's saying, I choose my opponents. I don't wait for the fight to come, I go after it. That's champion maturity. And the whole grid noticed. Verstappen, who was always respectful to Norris but never saw him as a direct threat, has already changed his tone in recent interviews. He doesn't treat Norris like the fast colleague from McLaren anymore. He treats him like one of the guys coming in strong. And that comes exactly from this change in posture. Norris stopped being a supporting actor in his own career. The question that remains is, will this become reality? Because talk is cheap. But when the two are side by side entering Turn 1 at Imola, with a podium spot on the line, with the crowd screaming, with the teams yelling on the radio, that's where we'll know if Norris really wants this. If he's gonna stick the car on the inside. If he's gonna hold the position when Hamilton comes around the outside. If he's gonna have the stomach to handle the pressure of trading paint with a 7-time champ. Because Hamilton won't make it easy. He never has. And now that he's been publicly challenged, even respectfully, he's gonna want to show he still runs things. That the youngster might be fast, but experience counts. That he's seen Norris grow on the grid and knows exactly where he falters. This type of rivalry is what F1 needs. Not social media fights, not manufactured drama, but two drivers from different generations, with mutual respect, but with the will to prove they are better. And with the cars finally allowing this proof to happen on track. So answer quickly. Did Norris pick the right opponent to build a legacy? Or did he just wake up the most dangerous guy on the grid for nothing? Because in F1, admiration is cute in interviews, but wheel to wheel, respect turns into war in 0.3 of a second.